welcome to Half the Battle.
In honor of the late Bill Paxton, today we're asking the question, would aliens work in the G.I. Joe universe? Now, we're only talking about the xenomorphs from the Alien movie specifically, not alien life in general, because the G.I. Joe line did have aliens in it.
Unfortunately.
The first problem with this potential crossover is the time periods. The Alien movies take place in the 22nd century.
And G.I. Joe really doesn't.
Luckily, or unluckily, depending on how much you like those movies, Alien vs. Predator gave us a way out of that one, confirming that xenomorphs were on Earth during modern times. Oh, that reminds me, we won't be talking about predators today.
Because if I can milk another episode out of the same subject, you bet your ass I'm gonna.
So, assuming there's a hidden temple on Earth with alien eggs, it wouldn't be a stretch for them to be found. Specifically found by Cobra. Yeah, Cobra has a long and proud tradition of finding stuff and messing with it without fully understanding it or the consequences. They really could be compared to Weyland-Yutani or the Umbrella Corporation in that regard. So yeah, I could totally see some hapless Cobra troopers stumbling face first into a xenomorph egg chamber, with Cobra even trying to weaponize the aliens later. This all leads to a glorious fight of aliens versus G.I. Joe. I just have a small problem with this idea.
The xenomorphs just aren't that much of a threat.
Move this man!
Now hear me out here.
Yes, the aliens are very dangerous and intimidating as hell, and they're capable of killing you in a variety of efficient and gruesome ways, but so could a grizzly bear. In practically all the encounters with them we've seen, it's either been one alien against a small group of unprepared people, or a large horde against just a few opponents. In the first movie, the titular alien manages to kill off practically the entire crew of the Nostromo, but they were unarmed civilians who didn't know what the hell they were dealing with, and had somebody working against them from the inside. In the second movie,
which was sort of aliens versus G.I. Joe in the future, if you think about it,
it was hundreds of aliens against a small but well-armed group, though one that wasn't prepared either, despite Ripley's warnings, and who had a rookie commanding officer, and again somebody working against them from the inside. And they still managed to slaughter most of the aliens. Not in close combat, but with automated miniguns the stupid beasts just Leroyed into. The third movie, cleverly named Alien 3, saw one xenomorph against a large group of men, but they were, like always, unprepared and very, very unarmed. So most of them got slaughtered.
Then Alien Resurrection happened.
To change things up, this time it was a military ship filled with scientists and armed soldiers who were fully prepared, and who then all promptly ran away when the aliens escaped, leaving, once again, a small group of unprepared people behind. Finally, there's Alien vs. Predator. A small group, unprepared, they die. And in a flashback, hundreds of aliens against a couple of predators who just blow everything up. Look, my point about this whole trip down memory lane is, with one exception, the Predator flashback namely, all encounters with the xenomorphs were in tight, confined spaces, with plenty of places for the aliens to hide and do surprise attacks.
Meaning that the deck was always stacked heavily in favor of these things.
In a real war, it would be a whole army against a limited number of xenomorphs, like a couple hundred maybe. An army with long-range weapons and drones that could wipe them out before they even got close to humans. So the only way I'd see a crossover working here is if it's kept to a confined space, like Cobra setting up shop in a temple, as they are wont to do, only to discover alien eggs and then hilarity ensues, leading to a small team of Joes going in, possibly with Cobra help, to wipe out the threat. All this is just the lore though. What about action figures? You know, how would this practically work?
And as far as toys go, well, there's good news. Sort of.
There is currently a toy line out there with aliens and colonial marines that is in scale with G.I. Joe. The company that makes them, Haya Toys, is unfortunately based in Shanghai. This, coupled with them being a small company, relatively speaking, so there's far less supply than if we were talking about action figures made by, say, Hasbro, means these toys are fairly expensive. I mean, $25 for one figure? Yeah, this is for fans only. To say nothing of the $250 you'd have to part with to get the Aliens APC tank. The upside is the toys look very nice, and they're officially licensed products, not your typical Chinese bootleg crap.
So if you really want it, yeah, you could have your Joes fighting aliens right now. Though you'd have to pay a pretty hefty sum for it.
In conclusion, these two franchises meeting would be interesting if it was kept on a small scale and was a one-time thing. Unlike previous ideas where Mask or the A-Team would become a permanent part of the G.I.Joe universe, in this case it would just be G.I.Joe finds aliens, fun is had by all, and then all aliens die, never to be mentioned again.
Besides, there's another crossover I know we'd all like to see a whole lot more. See you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing.